Why are autistic people bad with boundaries? Why are you, as an autistic/ADHD mother, have problems with boundaries to the point where your boundaries are constantly getting violated by your kids, by your partner, by people in your surroundings? And why are you observing that your autistic/ADHD child is really bad with boundaries, where they're constantly overstepping the line with other friends, siblings, with you as the parent? Why do they just not understand it and accept it when we say no? This is what we're going to talk about today. Hi, my name is Ritu. I am autistic and ADHD, and I have a son who is ADHD. My daughter is highly sensitive, and my husband is ADHD as well. Welcome to our neurodivergent family. On this channel, we talk about how you can be a great parent despite being neurodivergent. If that's something you're interested in, please subscribe. So why are autistic people bad with boundaries? I want to start by sharing a story with you that happened to me this morning. So this is a bit raw and it's a bit uncomfortable. I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my neck and my chest, but I'm going to share anyway because I'm hoping that this will help you at some level. In any autistic/ADHD family, mornings and the preschool routine is always going to be a challenge. This is across the board. Maybe the morning routine is particularly difficult for your autistic/ADHD child, or for you, because let's face it, you're also dealing with executive functioning challenges and with autistic inertia sometimes, which can affect people on the spectrum really strongly in the morning. And it often gets misdiagnosed as morning depression. So this morning, my son was in a playful mood and he wanted to play, and we were in the toilet, we were doing our routine, and he hid the toilet paper. And then he's like, "Mom, the toilet paper, there's no more toilet paper, you have to go get it." So I went and got more toilet paper, knowing that he's just hidden it and this is a game. The thing is, this is where I crossed my own boundaries. This is where I completely neglected that I even had boundaries. I completely overstepped my own boundaries, let him dictate the morning, let him force me into play when I was absolutely not in the mood. This triggered me going into a full-on autistic meltdown, like screaming, shouting, nearly smashing 2 plates during breakfast. And like when you're a mother on the spectrum, unfortunately, your children have to witness you going through all this stuff. Just like your kids, when they go through a meltdown or a shutdown or whatever, you as the parent and the other siblings are just witnessing it. There's no hiding it. I had to really think about what triggered me, why I overreacted to such a huge, big blow-up extent. The thing is, it wasn't my son's fault that I went into a meltdown. It was actually my fault. So now I can't blame my autistic son for crossing my boundaries or whatever. It was me that crossed my own boundaries. And because it was me who violated myself, I allowed my own boundaries to get violated. That's why I was so angry. I was angry with myself. When you actually hurt yourself, this is when the anger really comes, because you know that you should have known better and you just get so angry, you just get so mad, and it makes you want to destroy the world. Thank God that I was able to catch myself. It did take a good 10 minutes for the whole meltdown to run its course, and I'd say the kids experienced about 2 minutes of that. The rest of it I processed internally. I stepped out into the garden, got some fresh air, made sure that I could breathe, ground myself, and I could come back and realize that it was actually me who didn't make the boundaries very clear to begin with. I didn't make it clear to my son that mornings are for getting ready, mornings are not for play. Playtime is playtime, and then it's free. You can do whatever you want. I'm supporting, I'm playing along, but mornings are not for that. This is a pattern I see so often with mothers who are ADHD and or autistic. We are so fuzzy with our own boundaries that we are not able to create the boundaries with our husbands, with our children, with our in-laws, with our coworkers, bosses, people that even report to us. So we're constantly getting violated because we haven't drawn the boundaries so clearly, it's getting overstepped all the time. And even though it's not super clear in our heads, something in our brain is tripping and is telling us, your boundaries are getting crossed right now, your boundaries are getting crossed right now. So we're going into this alarm state and we're getting ready to fight. There's this anger that rises up, makes us literally want to destroy the world. So what can we do about it? We have to get clear on our boundaries. I'm still working on that, trust me. So once I figure it out, I will be the first to tell you. But one step we can already take right away is that deciding for ourselves what does not work for us, what absolutely is not going to work for us anymore. And here is where I come in. This is where I can help you, because so often we don't admit to ourselves that our boundaries are getting crossed and that that's not okay. So our boundaries will constantly get crossed. We'd get disrespected. Our no will not be heard, but we rationalize it to ourselves by thinking and saying, oh, maybe that person has a lot going on. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe they're tired or whatever. And we try to justify it to ourselves and make ourselves wrong. But actually, it's the fact that the boundary has been crossed that's what's wrong, and the person that's crossed it is wrong. And working with a therapist, working with a coach often helps you just to admit that what happened is not right. This is what I found in my own personal experience, my own self-healing journey through learning of my neurodivergence and so many other childhood traumas. Now, the second part of the question, why are autistic kids sometimes and ADHD kids sometimes so terrible with boundaries? Why don't they realize it when the other kid that they're trying to engage, play with, isn't into it, isn't enjoying this level of play or this level of activeness or force? This is a whole other topic that, again, I have to research, and then I'll come back to you, because I think a lot of us with ADHD autistic kids really benefit from learning, from understanding the why behind what's driving that. Another thing that's very important that I end with, in the moment when a parent is triggered, specifically a neurodivergent parent, when they're triggered by something that the kid did or the husband did or whatever, the emotions rise up, they shoot up like a volcano or like a firework. And there's nothing you can do in that moment to put a brake on it, to stop it, to manage it, to rationalize it. So unfortunately, that means the meltdown is coming and it's going to happen. And there's really nothing you can do but just let it flow through. But one thing you can absolutely do to shorten the time, the duration of how long the meltdown lasts, is that introspection, is that processing, is that admitting to yourself that in the past, when something similar had happened, it was not right. It shouldn't have happened. You, as a younger version of you, should not have had to experience that. It was just too much. It was too much for a little child to experience. And of course you're hurt. And of course you're feeling a bit broken about that. If you feel like you want this sort of support, check out my website, neurodivergentmom.net. And I work to support ADHD and autistic parents to be the best parents they can possibly be, even with their traits. If you feel like booking a call, click the button below. If you could relate to anything I said in this video, I hope that you'll give this a like, because it'll help it to reach other moms out there who might be struggling with something similar. And if you're curious about how a person on the spectrum, a parent on the spectrum, can get very quickly triggered by their autistic or ADHD kid, which happens a lot and creates a lot of conflict in the family, a lot of hurt and pain in the family, then this video right here is going to help you.